was it Savage where he didn't hear us the whole fucking
Yeah.
We had his whole podcast going on, and he didn't hear us at all throughout like majority of the whole podcast till like the very end. He's like, "Hey, am I supposed to hear you guys?"
Like, dude, you didn't tell us? What the fuck?
Welcome to WakuRadio Season 2. I'm your guest host, Sebastian, and we got your host, Kobe.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to WakuRadio. On today's show, we have a beautiful guest, and I'm going to let Sebastian do the intro because he's really good at this part.
I actually didn't think of a celebrity this time.
Oh, you did it?
I got one. I already got one. And today's guest is the one and only Catwoman.
Oh, that's really good.
Hi, I'm Kyra. Peppermint Kyra on IG, and I guess I'm Catwoman. I'll take it. Usually I get Wonder Woman because Gal Gadot, but
I mean, with your outfit right now and everything, I figured Catwoman's more appropriate. Yeah. And with the topics that we're going to be talking today, you know.
Yeah. So you get that all the time?
Yeah, that and like Latina Jessica Chastain, which I'm not even Latina at all. So I'll take it.
Wait, so what are you then?
I am black and white.
Oh.
Yep. Well, I'm black and Russian specifically, but.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of fire.
Yeah, little Oreo.
Little Oreo.
No, that's what's up. That makes sense when you were telling us about what you like kind of do. But all right, we'll get to that topic though. All right, so usually on the show, we're trying to start like a new segment or something. So we have two questions that we ask our guests. Number one, what is it like? What's your current relationship status? And then number two, what you do to make money?
Current relationship status, I am single, not looking, not ready to mingle at all. What I do to make I do a lot to make money. I am a Findom. I am a waitress. I own a business. So I do a lot of things to make money.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You're entrepreneur.
Yeah, she's a fucking hustler, dude.
Hustler for real.
Any way to make money.
Dang.
Anyway.
Any way to make money.
What are you suggesting, bro?
I don't know. I'm just trying to, the guests can take it from there. So Findom, right? Mm-hmm. That's different from Femdom, right?
Yeah. So Findom is financial domination. So anybody can be a Findom, a guy, a non-binary, a girl, whatever. And then for a Femdom, it's just purely like female dom. And there's a bunch of subcategories under that too.
Wait, so like this plays into the BDSM type of role, right?
Yep. So it's basically all BDSM because anything under the BDSM category is like bondage, discipline, submission. I don't like to say sadism because that's like a little dark, but like the sadomasochism, anything like that. So, I'm the pain bringer, you receive the pain.
Right.
Thing.
But almost like an exchange of pleasure though.
Yeah. So I am a pleasure Findom.
Okay.
And that's people get confused by that because they're like, okay, well, you'll hit people, but I'm like, but they like it. Oh, you'll spit on people, but they like it. You'll call them names, but that's what they want.
Right.
It's not like I don't just go up to a random man and like, spit in his face and like try and kick him. I would never do that. But, if that's a guy and he's like, hey, please do this to me. I'm like, okay, bet I'll do that to you. I'll do whatever you want me to do to you.
Right. Because it comes down to consent at the end of the day.
Exactly. Right? And that's a huge thing in the BDSM world that like people get confused about is BDSM is just, I take what I want when I want. And it's like, no, even if you're doing CNC, which is consensual non-consent, you do need consent beforehand.
That's true.
Everything is as soon as I say stop, as soon as I say the safe word, we stop. It's over. If it goes past that, then that's when you're pushing the bounds of like, that's the masochism, sadism part of the BDSM.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. So when it comes to consensual, non-consensual, right? Mm-hmm. Is that like something that they like I don't know, like, do you have to get like a document signed or?
It depends. Like when I am entering like a contract with a sub, sometimes we will have like a paper contract. Okay. Like we will have something that they sign. Other times it'll just be, in the notes app, what's okay, what's not okay, what can we not do? And for consensual non-consent, that is kind of like it starts with a safe word and it ends with a safe word. Okay. So, if like your safe word's camquat, you would say camquat before, you start doing the do, like they might be sleeping or they might be like, no, don't do that. You can't do that. But as soon as they say camquat, that's it. You're done.
It. Yeah, it just cuts off.
Yeah, it cuts off.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. Because I know like in the BDSM world where I dabble a little bit, right? It's a lot of like master and slave type of thing. Mm-hmm. So it kind of goes back to the same thing where, but what I see really popular in that community is that there is like a formal like paperwork signing where it's like, hey, I am your it's
that's
weird.
So just like 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah. Like, here's this 50-page document of everything I can do to you.
Right.
But I mean, that's, I guess, if you are going to go into like a deep contract with someone, like I do have some high profile people that I have dommed in the past, and obviously you have to sign NDAs,
right? So
you can't mention them or anything that you do with them. But for other ones, you know, just a casual type of thing, especially a relationship, I would never like be like, oh, let's sign a contract. It would just be like, hey, honey, are you okay with these things? Are you okay with those things? All right, now that we know. And even sometimes someone will say, hey, I'm okay with that. And then when that happens, it's like, okay, I thought I was okay with it. Now I'm really not. I've had people like, they'll like degrade me, and then I'll start degrading them, and they're like, hold on, like that's a little too far. Like my feelings are actually hurt.
I got you. So based off of that, have you made anybody like cry?
Yeah, I made a lot of people cry. I made a lot of people in like true sub instances cry, and then also I've made a lot of people cry in general.
Okay,
didn't that happen recently too? I remember watching your story. What happened?
I went on a date with a guy, and he pulled one of those "you're not like other girls," which for me it always rubs me the wrong way, because like every person is autonomous. We all have likes and interests, but anytime some guy is like, you actually have hobbies, you have interests, that like it strikes a chord with me. So I kind of just went off on him on how every human is like unique and special. And he was like, I'm kind of an asshole. I'm like, you kind of are. And he was like rethinking his whole entire life.
And he cried?
Yeah. Because he was like 39, single, had been single for a long time. No. Like he had gone on multiple first dates. And I was like, this is why you don't fucking get a second date. And he was like, oh my God, you're right. Like,
and you opened his eyes.
Yeah.
Wait, so going back to that, he said that you're not like other girls, and then that's kind of like what you played off of. But
yes.
But I'm gonna say the same thing, because you're really not, right, in a context. Because like from like a woman's natural mindset, she's more submissive, right? Where you play on the more dominant role. Yeah, you might be like, he's telling you like about how you're coming off to him and stuff like that. But to me, it's like you are taking on a different role of like playing like a more dominant type of woman, because most women are just super submissive and they don't.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I would say, and that's kind of a common misconception, I'm actually a switch. So I am a pro dom.
Okay.
But I am a switch. So when I am with somebody who I deem in his masculine energy, right, I am very submissive.
Right. That would make sense, though. That also goes back to like the hypergamy factor, right? Where it's like a woman, of course, she's going to want somebody that's way more dominant than she is. So
exactly.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this last night. I'm like, yeah, all the guys that are really obsessed and have like this kink for Findom or getting dominated by a woman, right? Those guys are typically like more submissive, or they just have too much control in their life where they need to let go.
That's a big thing, because I would say I've had really like high profile lawyers as clients. And I think, you know, in that industry, they are the boss and everybody listens to everything that they do, and their wife listens to them. Sorry, that was bad.
Or get that shit
if
out.
They are in a relationship, the person listens to them, whatever they say, they're like, you know, jump how high, you know, they jump. But in an instance where they come to me, they're like, make me feel lesser than. I want to feel, you know, taken care of. So a lot of times that's where you get like the mommy guys, kind of, you know, they want to be taken care of and bullied a little bit, like, you know, a mom or an older sister. And then I find it's very freeing for them. They often say how they can relax when they're with me and like kind of let go and be who they are. And then also a lot of them are into really strange things.
Ooh.
What's the strangest?
Don't stop.
So like I said, I did have a high profile client, and he was one of the, not weirdos, but he was a little, if anybody is familiar with that.
I am.
So
I'm not. Can you explain, please?
A little is basically someone who does enjoy that mommy type role and likes baby play. Yeah. So
like wearing diapers and stuff, being in a crib.
Diapers, binkies, onesies, you know, mommy, where's my babas? Mommy, where's my milky? All those things. So he was very like, those were the things that he liked to do. He was very into not age play in a weird way. Like it would never really get sexual, but he definitely liked to be a toddler. That was his way to escape, was to be a toddler. And I indulged him in, being his mommy.
Yeah.
Interesting. How do you feel about that? Do you want her to be your mommy, Sebastian?
Nah.
It'll
be really weird. All right. The reason I'll tell you. Okay. I'll tell you a story.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
So when I was 18, right, I was working Forever 21 at the time, and this older lady, I was 18, and she was like 45. I helped her around the store, all that. Cut story short, we ending up in our hotel room, right? And we're getting to her doing her thing and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, I'm fucking her from behind, and she goes, "Call me mom."
Just like flat mom.
Yeah, just
not mommy.
not mommy, not mommy or anything like that. Just call me mom. And I'm like, whoa, just instant softness. And I was like, what the? She's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, you know what? I forgot. I got to go pick up my cousin from the airport. Look at the time. I'm dipping. She's like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. I'll see you again soon.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how deep you are into like research with like psychology and like how sexual behaviors are, but they say that like all of these things are rooted back to like when they're children or something in the past of trauma, right? So I'm guessing that has to play into like the little thing as well.
Yeah, he actually didn't have a mom growing up, so that does make sense.
So it's probably like a need for validation or something, huh? So when it comes to the Findom thing, what's the whole like sexual behavior, the mindset behind that? Why are guys want to just give money to beautiful women like yourself?
Yeah, because I've been watching some like prior, because I know you stopped a little bit, right? Prior, I'll be watching some of your stories and like your screenshots of these like text messages. I'm like, these guys really giving you money for this? Like, I was like, seriously, I think I messaged you about like this, like he's really doing this? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's for me, I can't fathom giving money to get that response,
validation,
or to even get attention like that. I'm like,
I mean, I take it down to basics. So let's say you find a girl and you take her on a date. You typically pay for the date or the first few dates, or even if you enter a relationship with her, you may pay for a lot of her expenses, nails, hair, maybe a bill or two, whatever. But these guys, they understand, and this is the Dom coming out of me, they understand that they're weak men. They would never get any attention from someone like me or someone, like any other of the Findoms. So they have to try and make themselves stand out. So even a lot of times I wouldn't even ask them to send me money, and they would DM me like, hey, hi, hello, a bunch of times. And then I have my Cash App in my bio. They'd send me money and be like, hey, I sent you $50. Can you respond now? I'd be like, yeah, you get 2 sentences. Like, that's the only way you're going to talk to me. I think of it like a virtual strip club. You go into a strip club, that dancer is not going to give you a free lap dance. Like, they may think that they're going to, you may look at them and hope that they do, but at the end of the day, they're not going to. You're going to have to pay for it.
yeah, exactly.
And there are typical guys who refuse to pay for it. And then there's guys who know they have to pay for it. And the guys who know they have to pay for it, they are very generous and they just will. They'll be like, you're breathing today. I hope you ate lunch. Here's money for lunch. And I'm like, God, this is so nice. It's so wonderful. This is how I should be treated all the time. And then there's other guys that are they want to be talked down to. They'll want to be like, I'll be like, hi. And they'll be like, don't be so nice. And I'm like, oh shit, I just said hi.
Okay.
And they'll be like, oh, call me your slave. And I'm like, okay.
At the club? Like, they'll just tell you like right off, like, hey, call me slave.
I am online, but I have had instances actually in the club. I did get in trouble. There was a guy, and every time that I brought him his drink, he would have me spin in his drink for $100. And
really?
He was like, you're gorgeous. I need to taste you. And I know the only way I'm going to taste you is if I pay you, and I don't want it to be sexual. So he would just give me $100 bill. I'd spit in the drink. He would drink it. Like, it was usually a shot. So he'd just take it as a shot. And he did that about 7 times. So $700.
Wow.
And then on top of that, when he came to close out his check, he actually got down on his hands and knees and begged, which was quite awkward because my manager's around and they're just kind of looking at me and the dancers are looking at me.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the hell? Because I'm a waitress.
Right.
Mind you, I'm a waitress. And he was like, how much do you want as a tip? I said $500. He said, okay, done. He laid down, hands like this, pulled out $500, then like raised up like that and handed me $500. I was like, cool.
That sounds like somebody who's already part of like that community, right?
Oh yeah. And like, I say it in a way, and a lot of people who don't understand, like when someone is like a dom or a sub naturally, and you are in that community, you can look at them and you just know exactly what they are.
Right.
You know exactly what they want. So he looked at me and he was like, all right, she has a smile on her face because she's in customer service, but I can tell that's a girl who would make me lick her boots. And like he knew that, which is refreshing. I love that when people aren't like, oh, you're so smiley. You can never dominate anybody. And then I do it and they're like, what the fuck? I get that all the time at my job because I tell people, I'm like, hey, I'm a dom. And a lot of girls are like, I don't understand it. You're the nicest girl I've ever met in my life. Like, you're so sweet. You're so humble. And I'm like, yeah, but also I like to make people happy. And the way that they want to be happy is to be talked down to.
Right. So that just comes with the whole BDSM like lifestyle though, right? Because it's technically an alternative lifestyle.
Yeah.
In a form, right? So it's nice to just basically just come out and just be you naturally. So how did you get into this? That's what I want to know. Because you don't just like grow up and like, oh, I just want to fucking dominate guys. Like, no, you have to like somehow get into this shit, right?
Yeah, I would say probably it was always an interest from like when you start pornography age. I was a castle watcher, if anybody knows what that is. I have no
idea what the fuck
like
that is.
Pornography, you know, when they have the castle, the fort in San Francisco. No, okay. It's very hardcore BDSM. It's a dungeon, and I would watch those.
Oh, and the porn with like the first scene. Okay, with the flag. Yeah, okay, I know. Yeah, I seen.
It's like the like.
It's just a production company that does it in the castle.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
It's the location. So it's just full of dungeons. So I always watched that growing up, and I always found it just fascinating. You know, I was like, this is very cool. Like, this is very interesting. I'm super into this. However, I was one of those people who's really scared to ask any of my partners, like, hey, you know, would you be into this or into that? And, you know, I was married at a point. So with my ex-husband, he tried to be dom. He really tried. And you're just not that guy. Sometimes you're just not that guy.
Okay.
So he really tried as hard as he could, and it just didn't work. So we had all these, you know, ropes and handcuffs and whips and stuff, you know, that he tried. And one day he came home from work and he was like, hey, I had a conversation with some of the guys at work and they were talking about butt stuff. And I was like, you know, I already tried it. We didn't like it. It's not my thing. And he was like, no, on me. And I was like, whoa.
Oh, like Peggy.
I was like, whoa, hold on. Like, is this a dream come true? Did this really just happen? And I was like, oh, that sounds crazy. Like, what? And basically I'm like, yes. And like, I was like, yeah, you know, we can explore that. So we just, you know, started slow, like most people do. And then it got up to the point of like, you know, let's buy a strap on.
So it was like one finger and then two fingers. And you're like, I'm just going to fuck you now.
Yeah. And it was like, you know, it always takes a while to get up to there. And I always tell people, because everybody that I've dated, I've done something to them. And they always, at first, are always like, no, that's never going to happen. I would never do that. I'm like, give it a few months. Give it a few months.
Just plant the seed.
Just
and
plant the seed.
Grow.
Let the seed go, because I feel like majority of men, at least the ones that I've talked to, even in sexual settings, if I bring it up, they're like, how is that? I would like to try something like, you know, pegging or prostate massage or even, you know, a little rim job or whatever. And I'm like, oh, it's great. It is the best feeling you'll ever have in your whole entire life. Because that's what I've been told by every sub or anybody that I've ever done it to. They're like, that's the best feeling. And I have guys who still hit me up after years, literally after years. And they're just like, hey, could you do that one thing? Because I'm too scared to ask any other girl to do it.
You took their soul.
Soul snatcher.
Seriously, you really did. I actually had a client of mine who is, she used to work at the Bunny Ranch in Pahrump.
Oh, nice.
And she would come in and tell me all these crazy stories all the time. This is kind of how we stumbled on a podcast idea, because I love listening to these things, right? And she was basically saying that every weekend, the way she would retain new clients is by putting a finger in their ass. And she said the exact same thing. She's like, most guys would say, oh, I'm not into that, whatever. But as soon as she just slipped her finger in there, the best part is actually she was missing like half of her finger.
She was?
Yeah.
She had a little nub?
Yeah, she had like half of a finger.
So it's easy to take.
So, she was just like, you know, I feel like there's a reason why I have half of a finger and why this happened. So I just like to dominate fucking dudes and put my stub inside their fucking asshole.
And I
was like, oh wow. And she's like, dude, I've gotten so much more business and reoccurring clients because of that.
Yep.
And it's crazy. Why is that?
I think because there is a fear when being vulnerable and asking for it. So a lot of these people, they don't ask their significant others or their sexual partners because there is a fear of being judged. However, if you go to somebody who is like a pro dom or something of that nature, and you mention it, or even you don't mention it, but you try it, you feel like you're safe. We create a safe place that you can do that. And then like basic biology, the G-spot's in the ass. The G-spot's
the male's G-spot.
Yeah, the male G-spot's in the ass.
I was about to say, don't mislead the dudes. They're gonna be like, hey, he's gonna go home. He's gonna, hey babe, I watched this podcast. Said the G-spot is in the ass. We gotta try that shit.
The male G-spot is in the ass.
You know what's funny? A lot of Brazilians always go for the ass.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because I work in a club too, and every time we hook up with a Brazilian, they always try to slip a finger or something in there.
Really?
Always. It's like clockwork. Brazilians, hand down, will just automatically just start going for it. And you're like,
I
whoa.
know what they're doing in Brazil. Doing something right.
But you know what's funny is like that's a culture that's very like sexual, just like Cubans and Hispanics, right? Very sexual culture. So I think I would understand why Cuban girls are like, or Brazilian girls are going for stuff like that.
It's probably more dominant in countries that are more like a little bit more sexually liberated, I guess. Yeah. Where it's not so much taboo, It's like, your G-spot's in there, just stick it in there.
Yeah, that goes back to the sexual liberation of like the BDSM community. Do you think like everything that's going on with like everything in the media right now when it comes to, this transgender thing, this gay, like LGBTQ, whatever it is called, right? How do you think that plays? Do you think that has to like derive from BDSM community? Because you're supposed to be super accepting of everybody.
Yeah. I wouldn't say, a lot of people think that it goes hand in hand, like, especially in the BDSM community, a lot of people are on, the LGBT spectrum in some way, shape, or form, like I am myself, and a lot of people are themselves. So I feel like it's all just being open to sexual exploitation.
Yeah. Right.
So instead of, typical heteronormative vanilla sex, missionary man and woman all the time, it's like, okay, we can have orgies, we can do butt things, we can be in a polyamorous relationship with, multiple people, or we can have an open relationship and explore our sexuality in that way.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think it's hindering to it, but I do think at some point it is going to reach an apex where too much is too much, where it's just at the point where you can't go any further. And so many people are into so many things. And I've had so many people who are what I would consider vanilla try and branch out into the BDSM culture because they're like, well, the media says I should do this, or I should do that, or I should try that. And then they find out it's really not for them. There's a lot of people, a lot of men especially, they want to try and, be doms or even try and be subs. And then they try and do it, and they try and try and try, and it doesn't work out. And they're like, well, the movies and porn and, Twitter.
Almost like they're trying to force themselves.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to force themselves to be something that they aren't just naturally. And I think it is one of those things, either you have it and you're interested in it, or you're not, and you're just trying to force yourself to do it.
So how does this work? When you're not naturally like that and you want to become that way, you can't really become that way in a sort. Isn't it, at the end of the day, it's not going to come natural. You could fake it.
Yeah, you can fake it.
Right. So
a lot of people try to fake it, but I don't think there is a way to naturally become that. And I want to say, and it's going to be controversial, but it goes back to childhood and childhood trauma. People in the BDSM culture did not have healthy childhoods.
That's true.
So, just typically, if you look typical, statistical, we didn't. So a lot of people who have healthy childhoods, who, have a secure attachment style, they can't get into it. And they can try and force themselves, but it's just going to feel wrong, and it's not going to feel natural to them in a sense.
Right. Well, I don't think that it's always going to lead back to those problems, because from the research that I've done, they stated that, for example, like your earliest sexual memory is what kinks that you may develop in the future. So, for example, guys who have foot fetishes, right? They remember maybe laying by their mom's heels or something in the closet, or playing with it, or seeing mom or auntie wearing their heels and stuff. And that was their first sexual experience. And then that's what leads to having a foot fetish or a shoe fetish or something like that. So I don't think it's all based off of trauma. I just think it's what you were exploited to at an early age.
I also read one study. They said something with the sexual part in your brain is the part that's like related to feet is like close to it. So sometimes the brain just fuses those, like not fuses them, but like correlates them together just because they're so closely together. I forgot exactly what part, but they were saying something like that. I'm not sure, you know.
Like the pleasure center.
Yeah.
The foot center.
Yeah, the foot center and the pleasure center is like so close together that it's like sometimes it just gets wired the same way.
I just picture like all these like brainstorming bubbles and like these two bubbles.
They just connect.
Yeah, there's like a little dotted line connecting them.
Yeah. See, feet is something I've never understood. Even as a dom, I've never understood feet.
Really?
Like, really? Okay.
But
sure.
isn't that like one of the biggest fetish in the sub world though? Because it's literally you're at the bottom.
Like foot worshiping and stuff like that?
I would say it is like I would say it's almost like the entry level. Like feet is the entry level. First, I would say it's like heels and shoes. Because think about it, the average man is like, ooh, those heels look good. Like, I like how she looks in those heels. And then it would go into like, oh, the toes are nice. And then it's like foot, feet. And then it would be like, oh yeah, do those things with those feet to me. So I would say it is very entry level. I would say a lot of guys have foot fetishes. And for me, I am not, I'm into giving pleasure. I'll do what they want me to do, but touching and the rubbing of the feet, not my thing. It's never done anything for me. But it is one of those things, and it is the satisfaction, especially when you're wearing a nice pair of boots and a man will lick the bottom of your boot.
Yeah,
it's always nice.
I think
very satisfying.
That's a natural dom reaction.
Yes. It's just like, oh, like I get that. Like I understand that. But if you want my bare toes in your mouth, don't get that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not really like a sensation for you. Like,
like it doesn't do it for me.
Right.
I don't have the click in my head.
Yeah, the two bubbles.
I don't have the two bubbles touching, so it doesn't click for me. But I can understand how some people can enjoy that. But to look at a foot and be like, that's a nice foot.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either. Yeah, I told you I was in the salon industry for a while, and it doesn't make sense to me. But they said that women actually have more of a foot fetish than men do naturally. I think it's probably like
of men's feet or women's feet.
I think of both. I think women have more of an appreciation for feet because you guys like pretty things.
Yeah, there's been a few times at the club where a girl's like, "Can I see your toes?" I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, not me personally, and I don't have a lot of women subs that I would ask, but I could see how that could just be a thing for everybody because feet it's neutral territory for fetishes, I would say. That's like everything is a fetish. Literally everything's a fetish. Everything's a kink. I would say that's entry level. Like I said, it's like kind of, feet.
Right. So is your fetish money?
Oh, yeah. My fetish, definitely money. Yeah. It is. Money is even just looking at money, I feel like it gives me the same pleasure as a man looking at a nice pair of boobs. Like looking at a big stack of money and holding it, I'm like, oh, I understand why men love titties. I get it. This is satisfying to me. The pleasure centers are going in my head.
How interesting. So bringing that back, because I want to know if it's more of a money thing or is it dominant aspect. So are you trading the service for the money kink that you love, or is it do you have an appreciation for both, you want to dominate and the money space?
I would say I do enjoy dominating because even in not pro dom relationships, I am a little bit more dominant to the person that I'm with. So I do enjoy those aspects. But as far as Findom, especially online Findom, those are more, it's money driven. It is money driven because to type behind a keyboard and be a keyboard warrior and tell a man that he has a little tiny dick and could never satisfy you is kind of uncanny to me. I can tell him to his face, that's different, but to sit there and type it and have him send me money because I tell him that, or have a Skype call where he's nude and just make fun of him or whatever, be like, hey, I buy this dress from Amazon, take pictures wearing it and post it on your Facebook. I've done that before, and I'll see it on the Facebook and I'm just kind of like, hey. It's like, hey,
you made him wear a dress and post it on Facebook?
Yes, I made him wear a maid outfit.
All his friends can watch.
Yes, wow. On his public Facebook, because he was like, I want the ultimate humiliation and I want to come out as a sissy. And I was like, that is the easiest way to come out as a sissy. Post it on your Facebook. And mind you, this is a 55-year-old man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
On his Facebook.
And his kids probably have him on Facebook.
Yeah.
Wow. I saw a video last night where I saw a couple videos last night while doing research for this, and the dom actually took her pay pigs or cash lays, whatever you guys call them, out into the actual public and put like strap a leash onto their neck and walk them on the fucking floor. Bro.
I seen that video.
And I was like, wow. And then these guys were like really getting off of it.
Oh yeah. Leash and pet play is big. It's really big. I would say I have pets. I have puppies specifically. I dabble in the puppy, which is not a mature pet. So it's not, we probably wouldn't be able to go outside, but they'll wear the collars, they'll do the barking. I'll pull them, I'll push them. I'll make them eat gross things if that's what they want to do. If they want to truly eat dog food, I'll do that for them. I'll whip them, sip, here, come here, boy, lick, whatever, those type of things. So, pet play it's fun, but taking out into the street and doing public humiliation is amazing. It's one of the best feelings. And I've never done public, but I have gone to sex parties with puppies. And, I've gone to nightclubs with puppies. I've had a very popular DJ in town. He is into puppy play. So we have actually gone out to a club, him wearing a collar, and, I have the leash and we just walk around like that. And that is like people stare in like shock and awe and also amazement and like kind of what the fuckery. Right. And they're like, would I be into that? And I'm like, if you don't know, probably not.
Wow. That is fucking interesting.
That's crazy.
This has changed the world for me.
Has it?
Yeah, because like I'm just like how often do we see this shit in public? Like, because we don't look for it, right?
Yeah, true.
Like, and we're out there every day. Could you imagine you just look and some fucking dude is on all fours and this beautiful woman is walking him on a leash?
Yeah, the first time I saw it in public, I think was when it was like it was at the club, and there were just people walking in with like people literally on their knees and hands and knees just crawling. I was sitting there, I was like, wow, this is actually happening. This is kind of cool.
Fetish parties are fun.
How come I never go to any of these events?
They're usually at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, that's why.
Sleeping. Yeah.
That makes sense.
And for me, it's usually I'm just get off work, so I'm just like, well, I'm here. Might as well watch the crowd come in.
That makes sense.
Let the festivities begin.
Even though like it's like, dude, Kobe, you want to go out? Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, because I even hit you up a few times late at night. And,
dude, I'm fucking sleeping.
Yeah, you don't even answer. I'm like, I just thought you could come out.
Yeah, so it's true. Everything happens like after 12 a.m., right?
Yeah. I mean, what do they say? Nothing good happens after 2 a.m. or something like that, right? Is that the
Not
saying?
at night.
Yeah. Is that true? Is that when you operate?
I'm mostly during the daytime, but sometimes at night.
Oh, that makes sense.
I would say during the daytime is easier for most people if they are going to do pro dom play, because I don't know how to say this in a good way, but their significant others are at work.
Oh.
So typically that's the best time for, Skype calls or, Zoom calls, whatever, in-person play, anything like that.
So let me ask you something. So I know with like this dom play and stuff like that, sometimes it's not really actually even sexual. It's just them getting dominated, right? So if they have a spouse, do you think in your eyes, is that cheating?
Yeah.
Because, they're not like physically like, fucking you or whatever, but they're just getting, dominated.
It's a sense of pleasure.
Yeah. So you think that's cheating?
I would say that yes, it is cheating. And in some instances, obviously I have people who their significant others do know, and they're like, I can't handle that. So fucking do what you want. Like do whatever you want on your off days.
That's cool.
So, that's nice. But there are instances where it's like, my wife could never know or whatever. And I always try to talk to them. I'm like, just tell them. And, she might be so mad that you've done this that, yeah, she'll whip you. She'll do it. So it is, in the sense, it is like morally wrong, like any type of SW work,
But don't you think, like, the way I see it, it's like, I'm not vouching that cheating is good or anything, but I'm just trying to put comparatives together. But like, it's almost as if someone's getting a massage, If you're paying someone for a service, you're not getting sexualized or anything like that, but you're still getting your touched, and you're getting, some people get really relaxed where they get aroused from it and stuff like that. So wouldn't that kind of fall into like almost a similar category, even though it's not sexual, but
I guess that's true. I don't know, because I think when people do massages, like, yes, people can find it sexual, but typically when I am doming a sub, even if it's, making him wear an outfit and clean my house, he sees that as a sexual thing. So I think at that point, when they see it as a sexual act, then it would necessarily, it kind of becomes cheating. So, most of the time when I am doming someone, I'm fully clothed. I don't even penetrate them. They don't get to penetrate me. They don't get to really even touch me. In a sense, that's not me, forcibly touching them, in a sense. So I would say physically, no, not at all cheating, but mentally and emotionally, that Financially, financially cheating 100%, because I know it'll be like, when's the last time you bought your wife flowers and you just paid my car payment? You know, so financially cheating, big one. Emotionally cheating, 50-50. Most of the time, you know, they're like, this is an exchange of goods. They don't really care all that much about me. And honestly, I don't care about them. That's the point of like, you know, I want to make sure that they are enjoying their experience. That's my job, is to make sure they enjoy their experience.
So you do kind of care in a sense. Like, you do care that, you know, they have you. You might be like saying, I don't give a fuck, but at the same time, you're like, I have a business I have to run. This is like my job, right?
Oh yeah. You know,
customer service.
I don't have a Yelp page, but I'm sure I'd have 5 stars, and I want to keep those 5 stars by, you know, giving out good service.
Imagine if I don't know if this is like real, but imagine if someone created a Yelp page for sexual services. That would be amazing. Yeah,
you would be able to tell right away. Be like, you know, 5 stars, 1 star. She ran out with my money.
Yeah.
I tell the girls in the club, I'm like, I have perfect Yelp reviews. You ready?
Do you really?
I say I have 4.5 stars because, you know, every once in a while you get a bad customer.
That's true. You
know?
never have 5.
Yeah. I was like, I got 4.5 stars, so you'll be in good hands. Trust me.
How interesting. That's fucking hilarious.
But that'd actually be a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, just for like anyone, like strippers.
We'll just call it Waku Reviews.
Yeah, Waku Reviews.
We'll just start it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
And then you just look up your entertainer's name and like, she got 5 stars. Wow, 300 reviews. Damn. And there's like pictures included.
If you're like at a strip club, that would be the easiest way. Be like, hey, I saw your reviews, 5 stars. I want this girl.
Yeah. I heard you had amazing 15 minutes. Let's do this.
Wait, so I want to step back, because you were saying that you do most of your work during the daytime, right? So how does that work? Are you like, do you have like a dungeon that you operate out of, or what's going on here?
I actually don't. So when I'm doing like Findom, I just do them out of my house, basically, because that's, you know, online, phone, cell phone. If I'm doing doming, typically is at the person's residence.
Okay.
Or there are places that you can go to in Las Vegas to rent a space. That sounds really bad. That sounds like a sleazy motel, but you know, they are classy places.
Right. Like, you know, like kink B&B.
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much, you know, you can rent them, and then, you know, you can utilize their equipment and such.
I thought about getting into that space as an investment.
It is, I would assume it's quite lucrative, honestly, because what these people pay for some of these spaces, for like an hour, it's like $200.
Yeah.
If they want a dungeon, it's like $500.
Fuck.
Yeah, it is expensive.
When I was at 19, remember? But anyway, he was trying to do something like that with the videos and stuff. He had different rooms set up, with, like different themes and stuff, and we had to go in and record like people fucking and shit like that. And it was like, well, basically what it was like different rooms, different themes, and we'll make the porno for you.
What?
Yeah. So we have like our own camera, our own digital squad and stuff like that, and then we'll edit the videos. But the business took a shit.
No, I actually have found a few properties out here. Well, not necessarily here, but they have them on the way to Pahrump. There's a couple of spots out there that like operate, and they actually have like everything is like decorated differently. Like you have like, there's one where it's like a president podium. So you basically are making your sex tape like with the fucking U.S. flag and a podium, and just getting banged down the side.
It'd be hilarious doing that with Bill Clinton mess.
Oh, dude, that's yeah.
Call me Monica.
Oh, nice. That's so good. Do you have like a certain voice that you use when you're like doming guys?
I would say it's probably my normal voice. I do have, when I am a pleasure dom, it's a different, like it's more like a sweeter voice, but a normal dom is just my normal voice.
Okay.
You know, I can do like the commands, like, you know, I don't try to make it deeper or anything, like, you know, sit down.
Give us a command.
Here. Oh my gosh. I don't even know. It'd be like, I could do like a puppy play one. It'd be like, come here, boy. Come here. Sit down for mommy. Oh, turn around. Oh, I love when you do that. You're such a good boy. Like that. That would be like the sweeter.
That's our intro scene. That's our intro scene to the video.
That was fucking beautiful.
That was amazing.
That was
5-star Yelp review.
5 stars.
Wow. That's really good. I was watching some crazy shit last night, then.
Oh, really?
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, damn, this girl makes me want to give me like all of her money. But Jesus. No, I'm just kidding. I won't do that. It's funny because we, like Sebastian and I, we operate in this space where we just like, we're more dominant naturally, like in a relationship, because we've known each other since like the 6th grade, right? So
yeah, long ass time.
And I have never seen Sebastian to be one of the guys that like falls for a girl's tricks like that. You know what I mean? And I'm the same way. Like I'm actually almost too frugal to give my fucking money away like that.
I just feel like if you can get it in person, like why do I have to pay for it, you know? Like, or like if I'm like, for example, OnlyFans, I don't believe in paying on OnlyFans, you know, just because I can go find a girl that looks almost like you on Pornhub or P-Hub, you know,
for free.
Yeah, for free. And, you know, and it's like, but it's like, I don't know. Like,
or like just going out and like meeting actual chicks to meet.
Yeah.
So that brings up the question of like, you said these men are usually undesirable in a certain way, or like, but what about like the execs? Like these guys are up there, and you know, like of course they have money. Some of these guys have wives and stuff like that. So it's like, what is the factor of like these guys giving up money? Is it like a sexual pleasure for them, or what?
Do you think it's like some way where they think they can almost get into your pants by if they just keep paying you or something like that? You know?
I don't think so. I think that they understand exactly what it is, but in a sense, I would say they're just very generous men. So almost their sexual pleasure is to see the gratification of seeing someone else happy by their money. Because a lot of times they are men who may be, you know, well endowed, great in bed, who can give their wife anything. But at the end of the day, they're like, well, maybe that's not what gives them pleasure.
They want to be disrespected.
Exactly. They want, you know, they don't want somebody to be like, oh, hey, you know, wife, you know, husband, I love you so much. You know, you buy me flowers. That's like, okay, that's great. You know, call me a dirty little fucking slut. You know, it's kind of the same as like Madonna or like the whore. So you kind of have that instance of like, people are either seen as like, oh, he's such a good man. He's so good with the kids and he's great at the house. And, you know, he has a great business and he takes care of me. But at the same time, he wants to be told like, I fucking hate you. Like, you mean nothing to me. You give me your money. But his wife can't do that because divorce. Divorce is imminent. And then also a lot of times when it is the powerful execs, they have a bunch of yes men around them that are always saying, that's a great idea, boss. That's a wonderful idea. You know, you're doing great. Financial quarter through the roof, whatever. So they do want someone who is going to tell them, yeah, I fucking hate you. Like, you fucking suck.
It's almost like, you know, like when someone praises you too much, I think. Usually you almost want to be like, it gets you almost uncomfortable. Like, for example, when I get compliments like way too much, I'm just like, whoa, like, stop.
Like, what the fuck are you trying to do here, right?
Yeah, but I guess you get it constantly in your life and your profession at home and all that stuff. You kind of want to be like, let me be imperfect. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, almost, maybe it's like they're so perfect, but they strive to be so perfect that like they want to be imperfect so they can become more perfect. You know what I'm saying?
You just confused me. But anyways, let's go back to...
I got it. I got what you're saying.
We're on the same page. All right.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's basically like you want a little bit of toxic shit in your life. Just a little bit. Like, it's like, I was watching this video and they were saying, he was a comedian. He was basically saying like, dude, I want my wife to be toxic to me. Because I remember all my ex-girlfriends, we used to fight and shit. And then we'd have crazy makeup sex. But no, I have the perfect fucking wife who doesn't argue with me, who doesn't do anything. But I'm just like, bitch, hit me. Give me a black eye. I'm just like, dude, that's so funny because when you are in a lot of toxic relationships, you know what I mean? And you get into that perfect one, you're like, this is weird.
Yeah.
I don't need this.
It's like, it's almost too calm.
Yeah.
Like, come on, give me some like rough waves. Let's do something.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's too healthy. You can't handle it.
Yeah. So it's boring. When you're in a healthy relationship, it's boring. That's what it is.
I could see that that's what some of the men, that's where they come from, of that, like, you know, their life is too perfect.
Right.
Know? They have the right job, the right car, the white wife. You know, sorry, the right wife, not the white wife, the right wife. So they just want someone different. Yeah. You know, even in strip clubs, in the industry, you'll see, I'll bring up, you know, the perfectly well-mannered businessmen come in there and just want the most ratchet girl in there. They're like, I want some booty shaking. I want you to say, you know, axe instead of ass. You know, they want that. They're like, I'll have guys all the time because I'm a waitress. They'll come up. They'll be like, what's the most tattooed girl who's disrespectful with daddy issues in here? I'm like, I'll go get her. I'll go get her, sir.
Perfect.
Because that's what they want. They want every guy wants what they can't have or what they don't have.
Yeah.
So if, you know, they have everything going right in their life, they want someone like me to knock them down a peg. To be so honest, they have so many people being nice. I want to say, hey, you're worthless. You mean nothing to me. And as rude and mean as it sounds, that's what they want. That's what they like. They like to be talked down to. They like to be called little bitch boys.
Oh my God. Okay, so
little bitch boys.
I want to touch on one more thing. This when I think about like social expectations on this, right? There's like a demeanor to this whole Findom thing. If you're not traveling in the BDSM world and you're like naturally just doing this, you're considered like a gold digger, right? In a sense. right? Because you can kind of like, because you're like a woman who likes money, you like the status of it, you like the power, you know what you want. It's all because that's the guidelines between like gold digging and then financial domination. You're obviously playing onto like the men who are willing to do it, not just like guys like you're just like taking advantage of.
No.
Right? So what, like, how do you separate the two when people are like, they just don't get it? Because I understand it, but how do you separate that?
I would say a gold digger, no one knows. I mean, well, people know that she's a gold digger, but the guy doesn't know that she's a gold digger. And they'll come and, they'll pretend to be sweet. They'll pretend to be nice. They'll put on this facade. I don't pretend to be really anything. I just am myself. And if they're like, hey, I get pleasure from doing this, then I'll provide that pro service, basically. So I approach it in a way of like, hey, this is what I'm here for. I'm here for this. Right. I don't pretend that I like you. I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not. This is what I am. This is all that it's ever going to be, is you putting money in my hand and me providing a service. You don't walk into Burger King and say, I want a burger. And then, they hand it to you and you just walk out and don't leave. You have to pay for your burger.
Gotcha.
So I'm a burger. You got to pay for it.
So it's basically, well, you're not a burger, but I get it.
A steak, I'm a filet mignon.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I get it. So you're basically saying gold diggers have like the bad intentions behind it, and you don't.
Yeah, they have the hurtful intentions. They have they don't tell the truth. They're basically just trying to lie about it. Like, yeah, they want the money, but they're like, I love you so much, honey. I'm never going to leave you. You mean everything to me. Versus me or anybody who's in, the pro lifestyle, we're never going to approach somebody like that. When I have a Findom person, they know exactly what's up. They're like, oh yeah, you're my mistress. You are not my wife. You're not my girlfriend. You are my mistress. And the line is never going to be crossed.
Gotcha. So you said you bring guys over and have them clean your house?
Yes.
How does that work?
So basically I have a few guys, I actually have quite a few now, and they'll clean your house if you want to.
I was actually going to ask that.
They do. They will wear outfits. I can, make sure that they wear underwear if they're cleaning your house, but
you can supervise them.
Yeah. Most of the time they like to wear maid outfits or skimpy little outfits, sometimes dresses, sometimes skirts. A lot of them wear masks, especially if I am going to be filming them, because a lot of them, they want to view the footage, and a lot of them I do film for like people's OnlyFans, so they have their own OnlyFans as a sub, and I'll just be filming like, you're doing great, honey, like you're doing great, scrub that with your toothbrush and then put it in your mouth.
So just to be clear, they pay you to clean the house.
Yes.
So
or other people's houses.
So they would pay you to clean this house.
Yes.
Dude, what? I think the funniest thought in my head.
Yeah, in the back of the podcast right now, a dude running around with a maid outfit.
Or like, bring it random ass guests in and they're like, what's going on here? Don't worry, we're just getting your house cleaned real quick, and just dude fucking with cheeks out like, hi.
I want him in like a fucking neon green G-string and a maid outfit, like with like fucking
just the butt cheeks out.
Just the butt. Well, yeah, usually it's like one of the neon jock straps and just the butt cheeks out. It'll cover all the important bits.
Yo, that should be hilarious.
Dude, I'm so down.
Yo,
I'm hella down. If you need something to grade them too, will help in.
Oh yeah, because when I take them typically to other women's house, the women are present. Like, they're there, and like I'm like, you can throw stuff at him, you can spill a drink and make him clean it up, you can hit him while he does it. He will clean the whole house, and you just talk shit to him. And they're like, really?
Is this like based off of like gender preferences too? Like, do they like? Because I'm a dude, and if I were to do that to them, they'd be like, dude, I'm not like really into this. Or do they not?
It would depend, because some subs are like bisexual or pansexual, and then some are straight. So it would just depend on the sub, really. Because, a woman doing it to, obviously a hetero man is going to be different to like if you try to do it to a hetero man. He's going to be like, oh, what the fuck, dude? Like, shut the fuck up. Right. You're like, oh, okay. But
I'm like, shut the fuck up, you twink.
Yeah. Pretty much.
You missed a spot, bitch.
Hey, we're gonna join you. We're gonna join you in this.
There you go.
This venture. Yeah,
it's fun. It can be a lot of fun, like cleaning house sessions. The house might not get spotless, but it's a good time every time.
I'll do it. I think I'll do it for pay.
Degradation is amazing. I love degradation. It's the easiest thing you can do.
Well, do you ever like have like any like real meaning behind that? Like, if he like pisses you off and then you say something, or like, do you attack them off of like deep insecurities or anything like that?
Ooh. So past me, yes, I will bring up like the worst of the worst. And like, that's usually when I get that safe word, like, hey, whoa, calm down. You didn't bring my mom into it. Like, oh, okay, my bad. Sorry. You know, so now it's more just like, I do like superficial things like, you know, oh, your dick's so tiny. Oh, you're such a weak little man. Like you're so fat. No, and whatever. Love you. Things like that. So it's just literally, and I don't want to say like, I don't hate men. Like most doms don't hate men, to be honest. We like to give people what we want. We like to please the people. That's the purpose of a dom. So when I, you know, am a little bit too mean, that pushes on the not pleasurable part. But for the most part, a lot of them, I can look at them and I'm just like, God, you're such a weak little bitch. Like, you're so weak. Like, you literally, like, I know I'm saying you would never be able to touch me with your dick, but like, God damn, you would never be able to touch me with your dick. Like, for real. Like, that's facts.
Wow. So what kind of guys do you end up dating? That's what I want to know.
That's why I don't date. It's kind of all over the board, to be so honest. Like I said, I've done butt things with all of my exes, and I do have people who from my past who are switches, and I do have some that are subs. I've never dated a pure dom. I think because...
Do you believe in there being a pure dom? I think naturally most people like to play the switch, right?
I guess, yeah, the switch. But I feel like in order for me to be dom by someone, they would have to be a dom. They would have to be just a dom, not a switch, because I've been with switches and I would say like 9 times out of 10, like I am the dom.
Oh, you end up really dominating.
And even when it's like, you know, it's my turn to be submissive. I'm the pillow princess. You choke me. Like halfway through, it'll be like, okay, now choke me. And I'm like, we're not done yet. Like I didn't get my full sub princess treatment. How dare you?
Right.
Like I want to be a cute little bratty sub. And like, now you're making me do this to you.
Yeah.
So
they'll like, they start off and then they'll be like, all right, my turn.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, you know,
it's like that half-ass foreplay.
Yeah. I'm like, when's my turn? When's my turn? I want my turn, which is fine. Cause you know, when you're a dom, you get a lot of things that are really nice for you in bed, which is nice. But sometimes, you know, you want someone to lay down the law and, you know, be like, do this, do that. And I'll be like, yes, daddy, I'll do that. Pretty much. Just
do that again. Do that.
Yeah, pretty much just like that. But both sides, front hand, back hand.
Yeah. All the cheeks.
You know, it's funny at the club, like almost every girl, you know, like when I first started, I was like kind of like a little iffy just because it was like random ass people. But almost every girl at the club, first thing you do is like go right through their neck, and they're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
They just look at you like harder.
Yeah, because naturally women like to be dominated.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's
well, it's not hilarious, but it's just like entertaining.
Right, but what I'm saying is like it's funny because going back to the very first thing that we discussed is like you're not like other women, right? Women like to be naturally submissive, and yeah, you're the same in a same sense. You're the same way, right? Because if you find somebody who's way more dominant than you, then yeah, you're gonna submit 100%. So when it comes to being dominated by a man, are we talking like full like four castle type of shit or like?
I mean like a step down from there. I'm a bratty sub, but like when it comes to if you want to make me bleed and like heavily bruise, draw on the line. Like that's no blood, no heavy bruises. Spankings, not with like a spiked paddle or anything.
Okay. But can you leave bruises with the spanking?
Yeah, if they can be covered. That's all that matters. As long as they can be covered. Nothing in the good area.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Understandable.
So bratty, huh? That's interesting. I could imagine
it's
that.
like Jess.
What do you mean?
Jess likes to be bratty. I think I remember correctly from the podcast.
Most women are naturally bratty, I think. Especially if they like, I mean, you can kind of tell by her personality that she's not gonna.
No, I will not go silently into the night. Yeah. Like I will put up a fight, you know, a play fight. I'll be like, I'm not going to do that. I would never do that. Like suck my dick. No, I would never do that. That's disgusting. But, you know, obviously with you do it now, I'll do it. But, you know, it takes some coercing. I don't like to give up things easily because as, you know, the dominant personality in me, I don't want to just sit there and like, why? You said to do this? Why though? Why do I have to do that? Right. I don't understand why I have to do that. And if you tell me and you make a convincing argument, then I'll do it.
So, or you just grab their hair and pull it.
Right. So is there like a difference between like, is there a difference between like dom and sub and then master and slave play in your eyes?
I would say yeah, because the dom and sub, it doesn't always have to be a slave. Like I do have subs who are, you know, I wouldn't even put them on the slave level. Slave is more like pet play. So that's where the puppies come into. That's when, you know, I say do anything and they do it. I say jump, they say how high.
Right.
But even like my subs have a say in what they do. You know, I'll be like, what do you want to do this session? You know, what do you want to do that session? Puppies, they have no say. They put on their mask, they put on their collar, and I tell them what to do.
Wait, you got like real puppy mask?
I do. Well, it depends because some guys, they buy their own masks. So some, they have the leather dog mask, which I think it's cute. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I have a guy, he has a pink one. I have another one. It's like Hello Kitty. It has like a little bow and like, it's adorable. But you know, some just have like the plain, just like regular mask.
Right.
And I am a mask girl. So wear a mask, love it. I'm all about it. The puppy mask, not so much. That's where I draw.
So what about masks that gets you going?
I don't.
I think
Is it like almost like a rapey feature behind it?
Yeah, it does. I am a fan of CNC, like on myself as, you know, the person who is being CNC'd. So for the mask, it is like a sense of like, you know, rape play, but it is also a sense of who's under there. Like, and especially, I don't want to like put all my eggs. Mystery. Yeah, there you go, into a basket. But you know, when you're in a long-term relationship, sometimes it helps wear a mask so I can put a face.
Yeah.
Put it like, don't say anything because it'll be your voice. But, you know, wear a mask. It's like, you know, type of like, oh, it's anonymous. It's special this time. It's different. Who is this? I don't know. Even though obviously, you know, all the tattoos, that's my significant other.
Right.
I just imagine you wearing a mask and like, don't say anything so you change your voice. You just sound like an Asian dude. Oh, honey, I took you.
That has never been sexy. Dude,
so stupid.
Dude, I asked my girl that. I was like, hey, what if like I talk dirty to you, but like in a really Asian accent? Would that turn you on? It's just like, no, what the fuck? Like, why not?
Really?
Yeah. Would that turn you on?
I love Asian men.
Oh, do you?
That's
Oh, you got yellow fever.
Yes. I love, that's like my top. Like Asian men are at the top.
Really?
Yes.
Why is that?
Why? Oh.
Just, you know.
The financial factor?
Oh, obviously. Doctor, lawyer, come on.
Yeah.
Like I can't say no. Educated mathematician.
Nice.
But I don't want to say it's like aesthetic, but it is. It's like, it's an aesthetic thing. Like I hate to be that person to be like, oh, I have a type, but I do have a type. Like Asian men.
Do you like them like really Asian or like kind of mixed? Like are we talking like
Fresh off the boat Asian or?
Both.
No, like give me an image that I can put to my head right now. Are we talking like movie star like what's his name? Ken Jeong? Ken Jeong from fucking
Crazy Rich Asian?
Ken Jeong, the fucking guy that was in Hangover. You know, the small Korean dude that jumps out.
Okay, so he's not attractive in any sense. He's funny as hell, but like most women probably aren't gonna look at him and be like, "That's a heartthrob."
The main character in Crazy Rich Asian.
But he's mixed.
Yeah,
he's mixed.
Yeah.
I mean, he is attractive.
Yeah,
he's very attractive.
Who's a full Asian actor?
He's a good.
Oh, the guy from the Marvel movie.
Oh,
Shang-Chi?
Yeah, Shang-Chi. Yeah.
He is fine as hell. But I mean, he's just fine as hell. Like I feel like that most people would look at him and be like, "Damn."
So you want more of like a oh fuck.
All right, Crazy Rich Asian or the guy from Shang-Chi?
Oh, this guy from Shang-Chi. I like, you know, the Wasian, the Blasian, the Masians are cool, but like I would say probably my favorite Vietnamese men. Just something about their face and their mannerisms and how they handle a woman.
You want that authentic pho.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I told you.
Yeah.
There's something about the Vietnamese guys. It's weird. The Vietnamese guys and the Korean guys have broken into a lot of sectors.
They have.
Oh, Korean?
She's like, oh shit, I forgot about that.
Do you know again?
Yeah, honestly, I don't have really a type of Asian men that I don't like. Like I don't even, I mean, any attractive Asian men.
So when Seabass was asking you about the two different type of Asian guys, he's talking like one more like fashionable, like typical suit like type of guy, where he's like, you know, Crazy Rich Asian.
Yeah.
And then the other one is more like
casual.
Yeah.
Like hoodie jeans.
casual, like artsy, you know what I mean? That type. So that's what you're more into, like.
I mean, any aesthetic style is whatever. Like I get you a guy who can do both, wear a suit and, you know, hoodie and, you know, sweatpants. So it's really important that both, I don't really say like aesthetics go into it. I enjoy like I do enjoy suits. I also enjoy like cyberpunk goth wear. I love alternative boys. I'm an alternative girl. So I love alternative boys, painted nails, earrings, all that, black hair, obviously Asian, you know,
like the Japanese street style.
Oh, yes. I love that.
Fuck, dude. You know, the Asian community is going to fucking love you when we post this video.
I love them.
She's gonna drop her handle somewhere, so you guys are gonna know where to follow, you know. And if you want to get, you know, a little Femdom, you know who to hit up too.
I don't know. That's the thing. That's why we found you really interesting. Because like Asian guys, yes, they like to like drop like presents on women and stuff like that, especially in like the Vietnamese community and the Chinese community. I noticed that they really do like to spoil their women, but at the same time, they come down to one principle, and that like the men are typically the dominant ones in the relationship. So is that what turns you on about the Asian community, or is it more of like an aesthetic feature?
Yeah,
I mean, it is both. I would say it is aesthetic feature, but it is that dominant thing. Cause I would say any like first generation or second generation Asian man that I've ever been on a date with, we go on a date, he orders my food for me, which I secretly love. I love that when they're just like, you know, before the restaurant, they're like, oh, well, she likes this, so she'll have this. And I'm like, oh yeah. Like, I love that. You know, they open the doors. They're very like courteous and polite, but they're also very dominating. You know, they're like, I am the master. Like, I'm the king of the castle. And I'm like, all right, if you can be the king and do all the things that you need to do to be the king, I will be, you know, I'll be your queen. I'll do anything for you.
Wow.
But it's like almost something that you think modern men are missing nowadays, especially like westernized modern men, you know?
I would definitely say like the American man is missing that a little bit, because I don't know where it comes from. I don't want to talk about it a lot because I'm not super educated on it, but like dating somebody from another culture who grew up in a different country, or who had parents or even grandparents who grew up in a different country, is very different from dating a man who is American born and raised. Like I'm Russian. I am literally first generation Russian. So
You're technically Asian.
Oh, well, I can be on the inside.
Oh, by injection. Did you hear that, guys? Dude, don't fucking forget to subscribe, bro. Dude, I want to bring you back, and I want you to bring one of your sub guys. He can be masked, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And I want him to sit right next to you
with a leash.
With a leash on.
And then make him like do stuff like throughout the podcast, just randomly.
Okay. He's not allowed to talk, right?
Yeah, he's not allowed to talk.
That's good.
Maybe a little bark, but then you have to like slap him. Yeah. Like, bad dog.
Gosh. I have one. I think he would love that.
And it'll be public humiliation.
Yeah, he would love that.
Yeah.
He like posts, he has his own Instagram that he posts like humiliating videos.
Oh, perfect. We'll tag him in the post.
I think he would love that.
Dude, that's the fucking awesomest thing I've heard all fucking goddamn like year so far, because it's only a month in.
True.
Right? But it's probably going to be one of my favorite podcasts now. I'm not going to lie. Because you said that. The problem is the statistics on the dating environment for Asian men is extremely low.
Yeah.
And it sucks to hear that, because that's the reality of it, right? The guys that are going to get the most women in dating world right now are going to be the black dudes and the white dudes. Sucks. Right? But that's the reality. And I mean, come on, dude. The Asians, we get swiped left on all fucking day, bro.
Dude, for real.
I don't get it.
I just created a dating app last month, and I've been on it, and like compared to my other friends from the club, you know, it's like I'm like, bro, I get like barely swipes, man. Like, what the fuck? And I'm in a fucking tree shirtless, like waving like Tarzan and stuff, and they're like
naked.
Yeah, almost butt ass naked.
Yeah.
Well, not butt ass naked. I have my gym shorts on.
No, you didn't. You have a butt ass.
But I didn't post that one.
Oh.
It got flagged.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I had one where I had a leaf covering it, and I was pointing, but they flagged it because I guess it showed too much. But I was covered. I'm like, what the fuck? Just because I'm not a woman, half naked, you know?
God, it's such an interesting concept still. Like, I want to know why you find them interesting. Like, there's got to be, I know you can't tell me, because it's whatever you're attracted to,
Yeah.
right? But I want more people out there, like more women, to like diversify instead of just following like the.
If you want a masculine man, like how she said, go for the Asians.
Yeah. Not an Americanized one either.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because the American guys, like, the Americanized Asian guys are also kind of wimpy. You don't feel like the Asian culture is like kind of feminine though, in a weird way? Because we talked about this before, Sebastian and I, like off video.
I think it's the younger generation and like Asian stuff like that. Like they're into like
I would say
K-pop and
that's
stuff
just the
like
younger
that.
generation in general is very like more I mean, when I did have a TikTok, the people who would comment mommy on my posts, all Gen Z. All Gen Z. Like
really?
instant block Gen Z. I'm like, wow, that's illegal.
I'm not a cradle rocker.
I know, like, nope. But yeah, I have a lot of people, and even I've been doing interviews for subs, and the average person who's wanting to be my new sub is like 20 to 22 years old.
Really?
Yes.
That's super interesting.
And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
Because at that age, I wasn't like, our generation stuff, like we weren't really like trying to dominate.
Are you kidding me? I was like, dude, I want to find a bitch to let me fucking dominate.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
What the hell? Because like, yeah, like you get to the point where like, if like more masculine, right?
Yeah.
Like you want a woman, but like at the same time, because of like all the things that's going on, it's like, dude, like, like the whole grape thing right now, the whole like, sexual harassment, the whole like Me Too movement. It's like, if I were to do this to somebody that I even cared about and then we broke up and she brought this up in like the light later, we could totally get in trouble for it. So like for us guys, like we had to be very careful about like this whole like kink thing.
Yeah.
Right. For women, it's different though. Cause I think guys don't really snitch like that. It's more of like a woman thing to like open your mouth and like, hey, he did this to me.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
I would say it's kind of like the movie Hustlers. They're like all these men, they got, date drugs and then robbed and no one came forward.
That's the one with J-Lo in it.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
Okay.
And like no one came forward because it's embarrassing to talk to. So, a man's not going to be like, she put on a strap on and fucked me in the ass. Cause all the guys are going to be like, dude,
you're gay or whatever. Yeah.
Like, I'm a larger lady, I'm 5'7", I'm like 160, but like a man can overpower me. So if it comes to the point where like, if a man was like, oh, she did this to me, it'd be like, okay, well, why didn't you stop her?
Yeah.
It happens quite a lot because I used to work at valet at one of the casinos, and like almost on a nightly basis, some guy would come out like, hey, did you see this? Well, one girl walking out, she drugged me or whatever. She did this to me and she walked out with all my stuff. And then the security's always like,
yeah, because it's not really common for guys to snitch and like.
And then when you see in like news articles where the guy's like saying, oh, I got robbed, blah, 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 it's always like.
It's some like pussy dude.
It's like, whatever. Dude, it's your fault.
Yeah, but but like what we're trying to say is like a lot of men don't really come forward about these things. Is what we're trying to discuss.
Yeah,
because it's embarrassing. Number one, like if you got fucked over.
No, I know. I tell you, yeah.
You know what I mean? Are you gonna come and be like, hey, Kobe, like this girl fucking drugged me and took all my shit?
I might tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna go up to public like, hey, dude, I just got fucking finessed the shit out of like, fuck.
Yeah.
Publicly, Yeah. I'm like, that's my little secret. Don't finesse me, I'm gonna take this shit to my grave.
Like, what were you doing? Oh, I was like sucking on her. Like, did you hear the nipple thing where the girls were like putting like something on their nipples, and then guys were like, they would go back to the guys' rooms, they would start like licking and kissing, and the dude suck on it, and he would just blank out. And then she'd just take all of his shit and dip. Like,
that's crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's fucking insane. I was like, damn, these girls are brave and they're so smart nowadays. Finessing dudes.
Did you hear about the one where the chick keistered the fucking like Rolex and shit?
The what?
She stuffed the Rolex in her vagina and all that stuff.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was a story where she jacked some dude and she stuffed it up her vagina, and I guess security stopped her and she's like, I don't have anything, but
they gave her a pat down and couldn't.
Could you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Would you wear that Rolex again?
Yeah.
It's a Rolex.
she's like, Rolex? I'm down.
I can tell you the time. It smells like fish 30.
Oh no.
All right, let's go back to this one round right here where I ask you a couple of questions. Okay, are strippers allowed at your partner's bachelor or bachelorette party? If so, would physical contact be okay?
I work at a strip club, so yeah. Yeah, like immediately, yeah, because there's really nothing too bad in Las Vegas strip clubs, Las Vegas strip clubs, that you can do unless you have like a shit ton of money. So, as long as he takes like less than $500, you can go to a strip club. I don't give a fuck.
Wait, so because you're a woman that like likes the financial, like wealthier men, I'm guessing, right? Wouldn't he have a lot of money to like blow on a bachelor's party?
But he could only take 500 because I know what you can get for a few thousand, you know.
Okay, gotcha. What about you, dog?
Hell no.
Hell to the no.
Hell to the no. And I don't want to explain on camera or video. I'll explain to you later. But fuck no.
Yeah.
My future wife is not going to a male strip club. Hell no.
I agree.
I can see that. A male strip club is a little bit different than a female strip
club. It's a totally different world.
Because like female strip club, they're like,
Yeah.
You can't even touch me for like $500 and
I don't know about that. I've heard other things.
Depends.
Okay, we're not talking like, we're not talking the Tijuana.
Throw it out names.
The Tijuana
out.
strip club, the Tijuana like strip club in Las Vegas. We're not talking about that one with the sawdust floors. I'm talking, a classy joint, one of the classier upscale strip clubs. Like you're not really touching a girl for less than, a few $100s.
Yeah.
And even if you touch her, it's not going to be that bad.
That makes sense. Yeah, but I agree with everything. I agree. I don't know if I agree with your sense just because I think it's different for men, right? Like, do you believe that cheating is the same for men and women or no?
No. So women is emotional cheating, men is physical cheating.
Right.
Like if I caught like my boyfriend in bed, I would be a lot less hurt than if I caught him texting his ex, hey, I miss you.
Okay.
Because like in bed, whatever, like that's, you just want to get your dick wet. I'm not justifying cheating, obviously,
Right.
but that's a primal thing that happened. But like to go out of your way to like unblock your ex, find her new number, whatever, and be like, hey, I miss you so much while we're in a relationship, that would hurt me 1,000 times more versus a man, if a girl's texting her coworker, like, blah, 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 whatever emotional cheating might be deemed. If he caught her with another man physically, that would most likely hurt him a lot more.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think for guys, it's like, if a woman were to cheat, it's definitely an emotional factor. And also, when women, like you said, it's emotional, right? But even just the thought of like a woman fucking another dude, it's like, what the fuck, right? That's just like a whole nother thing. Whereas like guys can just stick their dick anywhere and it'd be fine. But if you start paying for another woman's shit, it's like, fuck, bro. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be like, oh, you slept with a girl, whatever. Oh, you bought her dinner at a 5-star restaurant? Like, are you kidding me? I would be pissed. I would be livid.
You got her a purse?
Oh, a nice
When's the last time I got a purse?
Literally.
And then you become a sub.
Yes.
How dare you?
How dare you?
And he's like, oh, I'm into this. You're taking all my money now.
How do you want to be shown love? Gifts, words of affirmation, physical touch, active services.
Yeah. That's really the only one. That's my only love language is active services.
Really?
I do so much if someone can do something for me.
I thought it would be gifts. Really?
Honestly, gifts in a relationship sense make me feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like it depends. Like if it's a meaningful gift, that's different. But if it's like, hey, I bought you a car, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
One, I'm like, that's our money.
Okay.
Don't do that.
No, you're like, that's my money.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, don't do that. And then two, it's kind of just like, but if it's like a poem or like, they make me something, I'm like, oh, like that's so sweet. And like it's acts of service and then just I don't know, like
The last one's quality time.
that's what it is. I was like, I couldn't think. I was like, it's not words of affirmation because I give a fuck. Like, you're so pretty, you're so amazing. I'm like, okay, but yeah, quality time, like actually spending time together. But also I am like a recluse. So I'm like, yo, give me my fucking space.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, now it's time, bring it in real quick. Okay, no, back away.
Yeah, no, that's true.
But like, don't be on your phone. If I'm telling you a story, you better be able to tell me who I talked about and where we were. Don't be like, oh yeah, that sounds so great. What did we talk about? No, I don't know. I was on my phone the whole time. That's different.
So how does it work? Like, let's say when you are dating, right? Like when you are dating, because I know you're not interested, but when you are dating, do you like openly come out and like tell them like, hey, this is what I do for work, and you kind of have to accept that, or do you kind of just pause on that?
I usually pause on it. Okay. I not pause on telling them, but usually I'll just pause altogether. That's why I'm looking for a new sub right now, because I was in a relationship recently and we did break up. So while we were together, obviously I put all of those things on hold. And I told him, I was like, hey, I've been a dominant, and he's known me for years before we dated. I was like, hey, I'm a dominatrix. Like, I will put these on the back burner if you say so. Like, obviously, if you say so. I never do any pro dom stuff because I feel like anything in person is just too much.
Oh, okay.
Unless there are some instances where I have been a dom and my significant other has been there.
Okay.
And they've been kind of like a tag team situation.
That's fucking awesome.
But that's always, those are always the rare subs. Those are typically your bisexual slaves. That's what they want. They want, two different genders telling them what to do.
Have you ever done scat play? The only reason I asked is because I talked to a dominatrix a long time ago, and I was like, what's the craziest thing she's done? She's like, I took a shit on some dude's chest.
That has always been where I draw the line. That's been the line drawer.
And I always asked her, I was like, how'd you feel? She's like, it was the weirdest shit I've ever done, literally.
Oh God, dude, so bad. Yeah, that's.
Hey,
Fucking...
would you ever let chicks shit on your chest?
Fuck no. I'd probably do it the other way though. I'd definitely take a shit on somebody.
Yeah,
I'd definitely shit on somebody.
Would you ever take a shit on someone's chest?
It would have to be so much money, like so much, like an ungodly amount of money.
Wait, but girls don't shit, dude.
Yeah, exactly. How could I?
Yeah, she said she had to go to like Taco Bell and shit, get like the 5-layer burritos and stuff.
Oh my God.
That's fucking.
Yeah, she said she got paid a good amount though. She got paid I think she got paid like $5 or $6 grand.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than that. Because that's just like, that would be burned in my mind.
Oh yeah, you're never forgetting that moment.
You would never, like, you're 80 years old on your deathbed. You're like, I took a shit on a guy's chest.
For less than 10 G's.
Yeah, for less than 10 G's. What the fuck? I could have got double.
Oh man.
Oh dude, just the thought of that, just like I'm just imagining me like as the dude getting my like shit on, and I just see that chick come out of that ass, and I'm just like, dude, I'm just like, why do you guys get off on that? It's like it's funny because like the 2 girls 1 cup factor, that was like great. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so like that was like a fucking viral sensation because of how disgusting it is, right? But have you heard of the stories of like how like guys from like Saudi Arabia and like Dubai will fly girls out to Dubai and like basically make them do like scat play and like shit like that?
They're freaky over there because none of the women, not even close, will not even do anything close to that. Yeah. So, you know, they out the ass. They'll pay out the, I mean, they'll literally pay out the ass. They'll pay exorbitant amount of money for anything like BDSM or gross or ungodly or you know.
I heard they do some shit with camels too and stuff like that out there. Oh, I heard they do some shit with camels and stuff like that out there.
Well, they technically are known to like have sex with lambs and shit.
Yeah. No, I mean like they'll pay the girls to do shit with camels. Like 20 G's, 30 G's, 50 G's, shit like that.
I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, if it's going into like scat play and stuff, like I wouldn't doubt that would happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think it was like a documentary I was watching, and some girl was like talking about it, but like you know, her face was like blurred. I think it was on YouTube actually. Maybe it was on YouTube.
It's probably like on a Vice video or some shit.
Actually, I think it was a Vice video.
That's what I was watching last night, like a whole bunch of Findom Vice videos, and I was like, "Is this really what I'm going to be expecting tomorrow?"
The viral sensations of femdoms are far and few from the reality of femdoms. So when they do those interviews, they're like the girls all latexed out and they're like, I beat men, I hate men, like I make them bleed. That, in my experience, just on FetLife and like other various things, going to fetish parties in real person, me talking to other femdoms and even domdoms, we're nice people who like to be on top.
Well, at the end of the day, you're just a person, right?
Yeah.
You're just a normal person. Yeah. That just commands a little bit more respect.
Exactly. And I understand, when you do those public interviews, that's why I'm not interviewing as myself. I'm interviewing as, Kyra. Yeah. So, if I am in that persona, I understand why some of those things come off so hardcore. Like even the TikTok videos of like doms who are just, all the time, it just seems like they're fucking bitches. I'm like, some of them sweetest girls you'll ever meet in your life, just because to be a dom, certain things have to line up in your life to become a dom, and usually you're very nice in your off time, to be so honest. And I feel like that's the side of dominatrix that's not shown a lot, is the nice aspects, people actually being genuine people. That's not really shown a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense. So how does if you would you take on other applicants of like Findom, like somebody who like, would you coach somebody to be a Findom?
Yeah, I do a lot of coaching.
Oh, do you really?
I am actually coaching 2 girls right now.
Oh.
So they have their own subs. They approached me because they are in, the sex work industry. They approached me and they're like, I have no idea how to fucking do this. Like, I could never do that. And usually I always can tell a new femdom because they always laugh when they say commands. They always laugh. And like, as a sub, especially if you are, with a pro dom and you are with getting a service, they don't want that, So it's always nice to teach them to practice on like people that I know, or, my subs. I'll be like, hey, I got this girl. She's brand new. Please don't make fun of her. Like, she's not very good. And a lot of girls that I do coach don't make it through. Because like I said earlier, either you have it or you don't.
Right. And
a lot of times girls think that they have it. They're like, I love money, I can do it. And I'm like, it's not just a love of money. Like, you have to be able to do this. You got to put on the mask and, the boots and the clothes and be able to do this and cause harm to another person.
Gotcha.
They're enjoying it, but you got to be able to do it.
There's an art form behind it.
Exactly. It's a form of art.
I think it comes down to like it comes down to more of like a natural thing. Mm-hmm. Like she wouldn't be this good if she just didn't have it. You know what exactly. I mean? That's what she's saying. Because I get it. Like when I'm training people to do other things for me too, like when I'm outsourcing shit, and I know somebody's not really in it for what the purpose of it is, you can fucking tell. And then you're like, dude, I'm wasting my fucking time. Like, so how does that work? Do you have like a coaching fee that, like how does that work?
Honestly, most of the times that I've done the coaching, they have a sub that will come and then they'll just, pay both of us basically. Oh. I don't know if I can say that, but
well, technically it's still like,
yeah,
it is
coaching.
It's coaching.
Yeah, it's
online coaching. It's online coaching. So, I'll have, they'll have a sub and they'll just pay both of us. They're paying for 2 DOMs basically. So I do get financial compensation, if I am teaching someone how to Findom or Femdom,
right?
Anybody.
Have you ever like crushed someone's nuts?
Yes.
Oof.
Oh, you're a ball buster too?
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
So do you have them like hanging like sit down on something, or do you just fucking just wail at them real quick?
I mean, usually it would be the instance of they're sitting and you just kind of, you take your best heels that they like, and sometimes they buy them and you just step for what feels like an ungodly amount of time.
Yeah.
Like you are just there for like, it feels like 20, 30 minutes just munching down.
Wow. And, I wish there was a camera down there. So I could see that.
Just put your leg up and just like.
I know, just.
Oh man, that's
because I saw some videos and these guys were just getting wailed on, some of them, and I'm like, what the like in my head I can't process because just one like tap. I'm like,
yeah. I would say because they build up a tolerance because I've had people, entry level puppies, and they think they want to do that, and like they're like, oh, what the fuck, like that actually hurts. But after a few months, they can take like quite a bit more, and then like there's some men out there, who've been doing it for years, and you can like I'm like sledgehammers up there, like freaking what was it? I was like pool balls in a sock.
Wow.
Oh my God. Like, I can feel the pain right now.
Yeah.
Ow.
Fuck. That's crazy.
I literally just felt my nuts like go in my throat just from just in full force, like swinging, just like whack.
It just makes me like, it brings me back to like the whole BME Pain Olympics.
Oh yeah.
How, like, they sodomize themselves and shit. And I'm just like, why? I mean, like, I don't know if that's like a transition type of thing and they're just a cry for help, but
it might be because I've never dealt with someone, like, I don't know if you guys have seen like certain videos of like people with hammers or like nails.
Yeah, I've seen those.
To me are too far. That's like someone like mentally not okay if they're like willing to mutilate themselves at that point. Like I as a dom, I like have taken an oath to not do blood. Like I'll do knife play, I'll play with the knife on your skin, whatever you want, but like when it comes to drawing your blood or causing I need to take you to the hospital right now pain, that's like no.
When it comes to your personal stuff, right, like are you like okay with like the whole, like if when you're in a relationship, are you okay with like the whole blood play and stuff like that on certain places where it isn't visible?
No.
So you're just like no blood at all.
Blood.
Gotcha.
No blood. I mean, no violently caused blood, because I have done blood play, but it was not like malicious. It was like, and then, that kind of blood play, but like the cutting varies, and I've had that, and I've seen that before, and that's not my cup of tea.
So you're just like barely like dangerous, like
a little dangerous,
like 45, like 49% dangerous.
Yeah, 40. We're there. The knife across the skin. It's not cutting the skin. No one's being cut, but like it's there. I could do it.
Right. Yeah, I just want to know.
I let you cut me once, remember?
Oh yeah, I love cutting people. Yeah, I'm a psychopath.
He had a knife against me. He's like, "Can I cut you?" I was like, "Do it, bro. Do it."
Yeah, we used to do fucked up shit to each other.
Yeah.
But it was always me doing fucked up shit because everybody was always scared, right? And I was just like, you know what? What if I just push the boundaries just a little bit? And then it's like, oh shit, now he's bleeding. Oh,
and I'm always like, "Fuck it, do it."
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, hey.
You won't?
He's like,
fucking
I was like,
will.
do it.
You
do
won't.
it.
I fucking will, motherfucker.
I don't know. There's something that goes in my head. I'm just like, fuck it, do it. You won't.
Yeah. And I fucking will.
Yeah. I don't know. I learned many times.
I shot him in the ass once with a BB gun.
A metal one. It got, And then
yeah, we're fucked up to each other. Yeah, but this is all going on. Anyways, let's go back to all right, that was just getting to know.
That's why we're such good friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Like, I know you won't do anything to kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't do that. That's
really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because you just listen to us like talk about between two dudes, which is like really gay. Sounds really gay. But
it sounds bromancy. It's bromancy. It's not gay.
It's very bromancy.
Oh yeah, there's a lot
kinky
of
bromance.
It's really romantic.
We take romance to the next level.
Yeah, for sure. What exactly are you looking for in your subs? Like, is there like a certain personality? Is it like based off of financial domination? So like, do they have to make a certain amount of money?
I would say it depends what kind that I'm looking for. Like right now, financial sub, it would be nice. It would be nice, but I really just want a sub who is an experienced sub. I'm not really like wanting to train a sub right now, because training a sub can be a little bit hard because they've never had a master before. They've never had anybody who's like really dominated them, especially the new generation that's coming in. They have no idea what they want. And most of them, they flake. They try it once and they're like, whoa, not for me. Or, twice. And they're like, whoa, don't do that. I'm like, okay, all right, no. So I really just want a guy who is experienced in the sub world. Or, anybody, male presenting, sub presenting. Right. I would like a woman sub. I've never had a woman sub. I would love that. Women don't typically like women femdoms. So,
I don't know about that one. I've experienced quite a lot, like a lot of girls that are really into being dominated by other women.
I have tried so much. And every time, they're like, yeah. And then I don't want to say like it's because they're flaky or anything, but, they end up flaking out, because a woman can find a dom anywhere and a man can't necessarily find a feminine dom anywhere.
That's true.
So, a woman can go on a Tinder date and find a dom. For a man to find a dom, they got to do the true dom, they got to do some work in order to find one.
I mean, females are pretty flaky anyway.
Well, yeah, women naturally are really fucking flaky. We all know that.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you might flake too. That's why I kept saying the confirmation.
Guys?
No, it's just the usual what guys go through.
Yeah, it's the reality, right? Like the reality of it's like women have so much sexual preference, just like what you just said. They can go on Tinder and find a fucking dom, but guys can't.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the reality of it for a man. Like, you have so much abundance as a woman that I think you guys don't recognize that. And then for us guys, it's like for us to be like, oh yeah, we don't. You're like, oh, okay. Who hurt you?
It's like,
Who hurt you? Like, no one fucking hurt us. That's the reality.
Yeah, it's just the reality of it. Like, I mean, like, it happens quite a bit, and I don't blame them. Like, I don't hate them for it. I'm just like, I'm almost just like, if it happens, it happens, like type of thing. But like a lot of them will just like get to that point, like even on like Hinge or whatever. I'm like, hey, you want to go out, get some coffee, whatever. They're like, oh yeah, I'm down. The day of, hey, are we still down to meet up? And she's like, oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, but it's almost like you prepare yourself for those things. It's like, I'm not really gonna.
I have actually side plans planned out for days. For every time I ask a chick out, I'm like, all right, so we're supposed to go do this at 6. If she says no, I'm going to do this at 6.
Yeah. You have to double book it. Yeah. You got to double book it. If you don't, you're just wasting your time.
It's almost to the point where I'm like, I hope she flakes so I don't have to go out.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not going to tell her that, like, hey, can we reschedule? I'm just like, she's going to flake. She's going to.
What is the reason for most women flaking that you think?
Because, you're experiencing it too when you're trying to dom a femme.
Yeah. I mean, I would say people in general are just flaky, especially when the first interaction is online. That is the most flaky. And the only time that I've really ever found women who say they want to be dommed, it's online. It's not like, I'll see a man and, like I said, you can tell a dom they're not a dom. They'll see me and they'll be like, that's the one. But like online, it's different because I feel like people behind a black screen, it's not real. It's not real to them. So I'll be like, okay, meeting place. And like, I'll book stuff. I'll bring stuff. Yeah. And then they still won't show up. And I'm just like, I want to do it so bad, but it's at the point where financial compensation is not there. So it's for me. I want to do it. Like it's, an arranged thing, but
it's for pleasure. Yeah.
It is. It's for pleasure. It's more just like, I haven't had it. I want to do it. I've had one instance where I did kind of femdom someone. It was in a group. It was a group project. We had a group project. So it was a fetish party. And the girl came and she, presented us with this task. Because when you enter a fetish party, you can present your fetishes at the door. So her task was she wanted to be glory hold without penetration. Okay. So our thing to do that, we built her a podium so she could be up, this high. And, we put, hogtied, so arms to legs, and then everything sticking out of the hole. And that was like the only instance that I've ever like done something like that. And then, I would go and basically it was also doming the guys who were doing it too. So it wasn't really dominating the female, but I would tell them what they could do to her and, you know, how they could please her in, you know, whatever ways. But at the same time, I've never done like me to a girl. Like I have so many strap-ons. I would make a bisexual girl so happy. But for some reason, just every time they flake on me and they don't do it.
Okay. So I want to bring something up. On one of our other podcasts, we talked about like, it was the one with Jess and James where we talk about how to have a threesome. And basically, she's monogamish and then he is more polyamorous.
Yeah. I believe. Or yeah,
something like that. Anyways.
Vice versa. Yeah, it's been a while since we talked to them.
Anyways, I brought up the topic of like how there's cuck queens, right? Are you familiar with the term cuck queen?
Oh, cuck queen.
Yeah, a cuck queen where, you know, it's basically a woman who likes her man to fuck other women, right? And she's basically the cuck, right? And vice versa, the guy is the cuck, right? We're sitting in a cuck chair usually right over here. So is that also another form of domination that you'd be able to participate in, like, or you'd be willing to participate in, as in like you're the cuck cake, which means that you're the one that's taking it and basically talking shit to the other woman.
I could do that if the person who I was with was the woman and the other one was the man. The cuck was the man. I could do it that way.
Okay.
But I don't think if I could do it reversed. I don't know.
Well, I mean, in a sense, it would be like dominating the woman. No?
It's like you talking shit to the woman because her man's.
It's a form of femdom, I would say.
I don't know, because I would feel hurt. I think that's what it boils down to, because I think if I was in that chair, and she might enjoy it, but I think if I was in that chair, I'd want to fucking kill whoever that person was.
Yeah.
But like, I think vice versa, if I'm, you know, talking shit to the man, like you could never please your wife the way, blah, blah, blah. And again, maybe that's just because I'm just a hetero fucking femdom and I can't think of about hurting the woman's feelings.
You got to protect the flower. Yeah, you got to protect the femme.
And like when it comes to femdoms, I could not, or a femme sub, I could not degrade. I don't think I could degrade. I couldn't degrade her. I could.
So you just want to show like
I could hurt, but I don't think I could like degrade her, because I would actually feel bad. That's where I would draw the line of like my emotions would come into play of like, ooh, I'm a piece of shit.
I think I just found a challenge for you.
to degrade a femme.
Yeah, to actually like push the boundaries of like your uncomfortability.
That's true. It would be uncomfortable. I'm sure I could do it, but I don't know. I've never done it. So it would be one of those things of maybe I would do it and I'd like it, but like I think like, oh my gosh, what if a woman was saying that to me? Like when it's a man, it's different. I'm like, whatever.
But it puts you in a power position though,
yeah.
You know, as like you're the dominant woman in that current like situation.
That's true.
So I don't know. I think that would be dope. I'm just saying.
I could try it. I could try it if they would ever show up.
There's also a different variation of cuck queening too, because there's also one where it's like the cuck queen is forcing the cuck cake to like choke on his dick or vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would like that. That would be my cup of tea, is if I were to do that with my partner, I would be in control of both of them.
Right.
That would be the perfect, like, not the perfect cuck situation, but the one that I would do would be like, you know, that, and then you could dominate both. That is actually an ideal situation.
You just open a world to a new world real quick. You're like, wait, I can try this.
Yeah, see.
Because I've been in threesomes before, but it's never been that kind of instance. It has sort of, but not to the extent where like, you know, I could be there fully clothed, just taking control of everything.
Yeah.
You know? I would enjoy that, I think.
Damn. Well, welcome to Waku, living your life fearlessly, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. I just opened you up to a whole new world. Let's go.
I know. Now I have new adventures to explore.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. Well, so let's we're going to wrap this up because it's been like an hour and almost 30. So thank you guys for watching WakuRadio. Please like, subscribe, and follow us on all of our social media platforms.
I am Kyra. You can find me on Instagram at peppermint_Kyra.
Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, we really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, notification button. Comment below your thoughts and what kind of kinks you're into.
Fuck.
If YouTube will allow that. I don't know. We'll find you know where to find us.
We'll just get demonetized. Well, thank you so much for coming on. You were awesome. we do really want to see you with the fucking sub next time. That would be awesome.
All right, I'll bring him little dog mask, walk him in.
Fuck yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Your neighbor's gonna be
Life of a hustler.
Check me out.
Life of a
See me on the
hustler.
road, I'm in hustle mode. Real estate mogul, commercial real estate.